tend to respect the war. And then, on an even broader canvas, there's the necessity of resisting theocratic bullying in the rest of the world. Principally, I think, from Islamic fundamentalist sources. The Iranian bomb, Saudi financing of madrasas, and so forth, the things everybody knows, but also the creeping Islamization in Europe, attempts at the United Nations to criminalize criticism of religion and so forth by the Islamic confidence countries. This is a full-time job. And I would add to it Messianic Jewish settlements in the West Bank with the same essential attempt to bring on the Messiah, bring on the apocalypse, Armageddon, often with the help of extreme Christian circles in the United States. So, if you see what I mean, it is all of a piece.
Right.
So we're not doing this just as a metaphysical argument, funnily enough. And though that's a great argument all by itself.
Okay. Is there a relationship between a growing secularism and a more erratic real world, or more erratic political world that we're in right now? Is there a relationship, or is this circumstantial?
I think that there is I don't know if there's certainly no rise in secularism worldwide. There might be a rise of secularism in America, but I think it's less that there's more secularism, and I think it's more that secular people are more emboldened. A desire to sort of identify with secularism, to speak out, in fact, even with atheism. 20 years ago, it would be uncommon to go to a cocktail party and have some guy say, I'm an atheist. But today, that's not unusual. And so you have a more assertive secularism. That's one factor. I don't think it's driven by materialism. I do think it's driven, there are two factors driving it. One is I think it's a post-9/11 phenomenon. The fact that the radical Muslims were doing bad stuff in the name of God has created an opening for atheists like Hitchens to argue, look, that just shows you what crazy people will do in the name of religion. In fact, all religion is equally crazy, and so on. So there's an effort to sort of tar all of religion, and specifically Christianity, with the brush of radical Islam. I think that's had some effect. I think also we're living in a scientific era. We're in the anniversary of Darwin, a technological era, an information revolution. All of this has given unusual prestige to science in our society. And I think what the new atheists have done is very cleverly embrace the banner of science. They said that is our religion, in effect. That's our outlook. And so, since science has a lot of prestige in our society, I mean, we trust our lives to science every time we step on an airplane. That helps to see why this new atheism can claim to be, I think wrongly, but claim to be the party of reason. It's essentially saying that science is our way of knowing, and it's better than the religious way.
If we had a true separation,
yes,
I would say maybe not even the elimination of religion, but the marginalization of it. What does that society look like for America? How is it much different than what we're doing now with it?
The way I'd have to answer that question would be this. People often say that a completely atheist or materialist society would be either very ugly or very bleak, or rather arid. And I dare say it's easy to see why people think that that's true. But what hasn't yet been tried, and what would be the level playing field test, would be this. A society that taught its children to respect and learn from Lucretius, Democritus, Galileo, Spinoza, Voltaire, Bertrand Russell, Albert Einstein, Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine. Well, we don't have a society that quite does that, which would be the fair test. But the nearest approximation to it we do have is the United States of Virginia Statute on Religious Freedom and the First Amendment, where any religion can be practiced, but no religion can be enforced or can be privileged by the state, or can feed off the taxpayers' money. And that is worth fighting for, it seems to me. Was worth fighting for and is worth defending.
Voila. Thanks, sir.
Voila.